Good morning citizens, Radical Panda here. In today's video I'm going to take you through a full gameplay loop of the Vanduul Tech Smugglers mission, solo. So this is a super difficult mission to complete on your own, and I'm going to take you through all the tips and tricks that you need to know to complete it successfully and reliably. This video is going to cover unlocking the mission through the intersect rep grind, where the mission is located, how to approach the station, the QV logistics station itself with the security room, the 2 cargo decks clear, the Polaris section, the auxiliary station with the access card hunt, and then the loot at the end of the video. Now, fair warning at the beginning of the video, this is going to be a long video. I'm planning to not really cut much of it out. I just want to show you guys in real time what this mission looks like, how it plays. I'll probably do some minor quality of life editing just to remove long travel sections, elevator rides, anything that really is just boring footage that doesn't need to be in the video, but other than that I'm going to leave it untouched. So let's get into it. Let's get started and I'll show you what you need to know. So the mission is based in the NICS system. You do need to do a jump to NICS. I can cover that in a separate video if required. Let me know in the comments what you think to that, guys. If you all know this, then obviously I'm not going to spend time on it. The first thing that you need is you need to get yourself some rep with Intersect Defense Solutions. You need to be at the junior contractor level in order to unlock this mission. And we do that, I did it at least, through the Mercenary tab. There are 3 main mission types. There's a patrol, there's a save a ship, defend an intersect operative, and there's terrorist to be neutralized. Now, the patrol's really difficult. I couldn't complete this solo, to be honest. It's full of ships, very high level, good AI pilots, and I just couldn't finish it. So that's a group option. The defend operative is tricky. My experience was that the AI that you're supposed to be protecting either flew into an asteroid and killed himself, or got killed by the AI ships before I could save him, so I didn't have much success here. My top tip here is the terrorist mission. You can go in there and kill the main target and just bug out, don't bother killing everybody else, and then just rinse and repeat that. I think it takes something like 15 to 20 repetitions of the mission to unlock junior contractor. I'll go and do some testing to confirm that separately. I've done that now, so it's difficult to go back and go through it and work out exactly the sequence there. So once you've completed enough of these missions, then what will happen is, in the investigations tab, you'll get the option for a mission here which is worth 1 million. The first one is titled slightly differently. I think it's just called Vanduul Tech Smugglers, the first version of the mission. It's very much the same as what you'll see in this video, but the first time around it has a different title. Once you complete this mission, the repeat mission looks like this: retrieve additional smuggler intel. It also unlocks 2 collection missions which pay out really nice amounts of money, 600 there or thereabouts, alpha UEC for each one, 600,000. One for Vanduul metal plating and Vanduul metal and Vanduul plating, and one for Vanduul corpses. Now these are really good money makers, guys, because you can collect a lot of these, and I'll show you that in today's video. But without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. So we're going to accept our mission. And if Star Citizen's going to play ball and let me actually get the mission, that would be really useful. There we go. There's your first bit of real life Star Citizen experience. Don't know what that was. First mission just seemed to disappear. So, we've got our mission. Let's just quickly check our loadout.
Intersect appreciates your help.
While Torben gives us our mission brief. So, I'm running heavy armor, heavy chest, 4 med pens, a tractor beam multi-tool, and I've also got a repair tool multi-tool which we're going to need later in the mission. I always have a spare med gel canister, plenty of ammo. My weapon of choice for this is the pulverizer. Obviously that's up to you guys, but the pulverizer just absolutely wrecks. It's a ridiculously good gun at the moment. I think it's catching a nerf in 4.5, so that might change things a little bit. But yeah, I think that basically covers it from the loadout. You can see I've still got one of the decryption keys there in my inventory from my last attempt. And I'm going to approach the station today in my RSI Zeus. In my last video I showed you that this is possible in a starter ship, so you don't need a bigger ship. And so the next Star Citizen CIG problem, I can't call the hangar. If you have this issue, the workaround for that is go into your comms tab in your Mobiglass, friends, call the station. So if the hotkey isn't working, that's your workaround. So I'm basing myself for this mission at Stanton Gateway. I set my respawn here before heading out for the mission in case things go pear-shaped. And then if you do die on the approach, you can head back here and try again. So we're heading out. We should have a mission marker, QT marker, and we're going to jump over to the QB station. These tend to vary from about 10 to 30 gigameters away from Stanton Gateway. It just depends on where in the Glacium ring the mission spawns. I think there's hundreds of these stations scattered through the ring, so every time you get this mission you should get your own instance of it almost. It's not officially instanced, but it should be yours alone. You shouldn't see too much PvP. I haven't seen any other players on these missions so far. So while we're jumping, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that watched my last video on this mission. I was blown away by the response that you guys have given me. I've had so many views and comments, and it's been great getting into the comments with everybody. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, actually, is just to give everybody all the details, because I've missed stuff on the last video that obviously you guys are interested in. Some of you have given me some really good extra tips to introduce to the video, and yeah, hopefully this type of thing is what you guys want to see basically. But please let me know in the comments. I'm new to this YouTube thing and I'm just working it out as I go along, making some mistakes and hopefully just getting better with each video that I publish. So thank you for that response on that last video. I hope you like that. I hope you like this one.
Fight your way through and then collect the data for decryption.
So that's the station in the distance there. We're actually at a really nice angle here the way we've arrived. So the main sort of central column underneath is a great place to head for if you're in a starter ship. If you zoom straight in there, you can tuck yourself up underneath the station and the Vanduul just can't get to you, and then mostly they just crash into the station and kill themselves. The hangars are over to the left hand side here in this main body of the station. So on this approach I'm gonna shoot for the hangar straight away. I'm in my RSI, I've got 4 size 2 shields, I should be okay. I shouldn't get blown up. Also at the bottom of that central pillar, which is also where the Polaris is, there's a landing pad called pad 3. You can suicide run straight at that pad, eject out of your ship and just jump into the QB station. There's a door there that leads to an elevator that lets you in. So there's a few different ways to approach this, and then obviously finally if you're a confident combat pilot you can fly in and nuke the Vanduul. Simple as that. In my first video I showed you me doing that in my F8C Lightning. In this one we're just going to try and shoot straight for the hangars. Okay, so first top tip I got from my comments on my last video, which was really appreciated, was if you switch modes and let your shields charge. Let me just check my power settings. Until next patch at least, you can just turn your coolers off to give yourself a bit of extra power. So I'm just going to beef up my shields to make sure they're as high as possible. And those 4 size 2s on the RSI Zeus should mean that these Vanduul just aren't going to give me too much hassle. To get those fully charged, or there or thereabouts, then switch back to quantum mode. When we switch back into SEM mode, the shield should just immediately pop up to full strength. So we can use the added speed from nav mode to get into the location really quickly. As soon as we're inside 10, we're going to call the hangar and get hangar access. Oh dear, there's a lot of Vanduul here. They've overspawned by the looks of things, which is... So you saw I got my hangar access there. Where is it? Come on, Star Citizen, give me my hangar. I've gone to the wrong side of the station, haven't I? So, here we go, guys. Here's the first example of how things can get fucked up. I went to the wrong part of the station. It's looking a little wrong. So they've got me locked with a missile. I'm going to pop some flares off. Gone a bit hot there. I'm going to turn and burn. And as I hoped, my 4 size 2 shields on the RSI Zeus have held up pretty nicely there, and I haven't really taken too much damage. Obviously you... Oh! And then don't boost into the hangar, because that can lead to the absolute disaster. Whew. So, look at my hull. I nearly blew my ship up in the hangar there. That was really bad. Okay, so that first section can be a bit intense. I personally prefer to just go in with my F8C and actually fight them, but in that case, they'd overspawned. There was at least 8, if not 12 Vanduul there. That could have got really messy really quickly. Thankfully I was in a slightly bigger ship, so I survived that time. This is why we set our spawn at the QV station, at the Stanton Gateway. If that goes wrong, you can have another try. So, let's get ourselves set up.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
So, I'm going to claim my Ursa Medivac and store my RSI Zeus. Don't need that. I've got some spare meds and ammo. One of the great things about the pulverizer here is that a lot of the enemies inside the station have it anyway, which is bad because they absolutely laser you with it. But that means you can grab ammo as you go, so you don't need to go in carrying too much. So there's a few ways to hit that station approach, guys. Go in, shoot in, zoom in and hide and let them all crash. Go straight for your hangar. I've also, through this mission, mainly made enough money to buy myself a Star Lance attack, so that's a great ship. Its huge shields mean that you don't too bothered by the small Vanduul fighters. And you can just go park on the pad 3, and the Star Lance attack has med beds with 4 respawns in it. So if you've got a ship of that size, then brilliant. You know, anything up to a Polaris or bigger, if you've got those kind of ships available to you, you can just park at the entrance to the station there, have your respawns on site. You won't be able to come in the hangar with a large ship like a Polaris, but you can just land on pad 3 and do things that way. So I've got my Ursa, which is my respawn on site. It means that if I get killed by the NPCs in here, I can just come back down to my hangar and have another go at the mission without having to come all the way back to Stanton Gateway or whatever. So, let's set our spawn. And then we should be good. We'll pop back up in that bed when we die, and we can just go continue the mission without too much interruption. One of the comments I had from my last video was that the hangar was despawning, and I don't know what drives that, to be honest. I'm going to try and do some experiments here. I'm going to... firstly, I'll bring up my dragonfly and leave it on the pad there and see if that helps to just keep the hangar persistent and make sure it doesn't despawn on me. I think when you're in the station you're okay, but when you start to fly off to the Polaris and the auxiliary station, that's when it can get a bit tricky. So we're heading up into the QV station itself and to the entrance area, and this is the first fight of the mission. I like to loot all the blue boxes along the way because there's a chance of some really nice little drops in this section. I'm just going to call that ship to the hangar for later as well, because I want to do some experiments with the respawning options. And then we run through here. Sometimes the enemies will pile down these stairs. I haven't seen it too often, but be careful in case they do that. And then this is the first big fight. As soon as we head in here, it's going to create a security lockdown. These doors will close. And we're going to have a big fight on our hands to clear through and get ourselves up to a lever that's at the top right hand side of this area to unlock the security room and cancel the lockdown. Can I see a head there? So clear what you can from down here before you get into the thick of it, because in this room is a kill box. It's... No, I can hit him. I'm just going to clear as many of these guys as I can while I've got a bit of cover and stuff. Just peek the stairs to see if you can't clear a few more. There's sometimes a guy there. That balcony's dangerous. But what I do at this stage is I run and just hop over and get myself into this little corner here, because this is quite a nice covered location. They can't shoot through this mesh, and it allows you some peaks to try and clear through as you go. There's normally a couple of guys down that left hand side towards cargo deck A.
Go, I got your back.
They do come down these stairs, and they're very good with grenades. Let me jump. Every time you take some damage, get your med pen and heal up. You want to try and keep yourself up at 100% as much as possible. So I think that guy's up there. How he's managing to grenade me from there, I don't know, but they're very good with their grenades. They seem to be able to land them at your feet every single time.
I'll cover you. As
you come around in this sort of back section, there's usually pretty nice cover, but you can often get a line on one of them. So we're just looking to take fights one at a time if we can. Sometimes you can see their heads up there. These NPCs are like John Wick, ninja good. So if you give them the opportunity, they will floor you. If you get close to one with a shotgun, for example, then it's going to take you down. Can't quite get that shot on him. As you come up the stairs, just crouch, and you should get a nice line. I got really lucky there. That scalpel shot there just grazed me, so I didn't get any damage. Super lucky. As we're heading down this way, guys, there's a number of guys normally hidden behind these bits of cover here. See one there, look. That was a heavy. 4 headshots to knock this guy down. Another one behind that box. So we're just controlling the angles, really. We just got to try and limit the chances of them getting a line on us and shooting us. There's sometimes some guys on this opposite balcony that can be a problem. Oh, and there's a guy down there, see? My potato aim wasn't particularly good there. And there's another one, look. Oh, someone else is shooting. Where is he? The pulverizer's pretty good if you slow fire it. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it's so powerful. If you slow tap fire it, it's pretty good. I've not found I needed a ranged weapon with a 4x scope on my pulverizer in this section, to be honest. As soon as they get a shot on you guys, they start to eat your health away really quickly, so you've got to be super careful. There's another one over there. So I like to just dip into this room on the side here in case there's any stragglers. They're so good at hiding behind cover. There can be one tucked in here that you don't see. There, like that! And it's that easy to go down. I suppose it's good to talk about this actually. I'm going to leave that in the video. Don't get ragey. It's just a game at the end of the day. Take a deep breath. We've got our spawn on site, and we can just get back at it. So there's a chance that having that dragonfly there is what's helping me keep my hanger persistent, but I'm not 100% sure on that one, to be honest with you guys, so we need to do some more testing. And that's the beauty of having your RSI Ursa Medivac on site, because it just allows you to get right back at it. It's not unusual to die in this first section, like I say, it's a complete kill box, it's very difficult to get through. I'd say the mission gets quite a lot easier from this point, so once you've cleared the first area, you're on to a winner from that point forward. There's still plenty of enemies to fight, still plenty of chances to get knocked down, but if you've got that spawn point as a backup, then you're good. Those big heavy guys, the one that killed me there, is so tough, and I completely bluffed fighting him there. If they get that sort of an opportunity on you, then they're gonna put you into a bad situation. And that's funny as well, because the lockdown is only just triggered. That should happen as soon as you walk in, but that was a bit delayed. That might have also triggered some fresh spawn, so I need to be mega careful now. Where was he shooting from?
You're really starting to piss me off!
He's going to be behind those leaves, I think, but I can't see him, so I'm going to move. Just crouch on this balcony to cover yourself from any other guys that might be around. I'm sure there was a guy shooting with a AO3 there. Don't know where he disappeared to. So I think that lockdown triggering is... Even the light guys are still deadly. You see there, he took me from 100 to 39% in just a short little volley. So I'm going to try my tactic again. This heavy guy's in here somewhere. Try and get a bead on him. Thankfully, because I'd already damaged him a bit, he was easy to take down that time. Okay, so back where we were. This is where the lever to stop the lockdown and the siren is. There's always a guy seems to be hiding in there. There's another guy in there. That allows us to have a moment, catch our breath, repool our ammo, and get ready for the next phase. Normally when you throw that lever, it does trigger some enemies to come push this room. They'll be coming down this corridor towards you. I've got there fairly quickly, so I think I should be able to peek as they come down. Might be okay this time. Often there's a 2 or 3 NPC group that comes up the stairs and attacks you at this stage, but I think that might have been triggered by the start of the lockdown there, potentially, or I'm just going to get caught by them later. One good thing about getting killed is that it does allow you to duplicate your ammo, and I've got so much I don't need it, but that's useful to know. And just a note as well, the blue box by the lever over there has repair tools in it quite often, so if you forget to bring one, that's a good way to stock up on those and make sure you've got one for later in the mission, which you do need. I'm checking all the blue boxes because pristine medals, pristine artifacts spawn in these for sure, guys. They're very rare, but much more likely in the warehouse boxes, but worth checking them as you go. I'm a loot goblin, I look in every box most of the time anyway, but it's definitely worth your time. Now, if you do get an injury, just to show you, there's a clinic, so you can go and heal. You can't set your respawn there, unfortunately, but you can fix any injuries that you've picked up from these guys and make sure you're at full health. There's definitely somebody here, I can hear him. The audio cues are super important, guys. They really help you to know that there's still enemies in the first place. He's probably below me, I think, based on that. So now that we've flipped the lever, this security office, which was locked before, is now opened, and at least 5 or 6 guys spawn inside. That should be the guy that we're after. It's the Shattered Blade Captain with the cool skull armour. I think it's Testudo Deathblow. So hopping up on this crate like I just did there gives you just an absolutely brilliant line down on him. Just allows you to bin the herd. And although they're cracked, these guys, they're proper John Wick. They don't seem to get a very good line on you from up here. That guy's just shooting with a shotgun, so I'm not too worried about him at that distance. Ooh, sneaky little devil there. So, I can hear a voice underneath me, so I'm going to be assuming that there's a guy below. Oh, there's one. Sometimes the clipping for the terrain and obstacles is a bit weird and doesn't let you shoot through. There's sometimes a guy snuck in there. So I think we're approaching a point, hopefully, where we're fairly clear with this first QV section area. One good thing about getting killed back there is my food and water was dropping, and now I've regened, I don't have that problem, so that's at least one little bonus. As you approach the security room, just keep your head on a swivel. You can be in there behind that desk. Sometimes there's a guy tucked in there. I've had him stuck here as well, which was really weird, and they nearly caught me out. Yeah, just keep... Oh, that's a big guy. We want to make sure not to get him, let him unload on us. And there's our Shattered Blade Captain. So, I'm just going to loot a little bit of ammo off this guy because he had a pulverizer. Just keep my belt full. Don't think you need any more than that, really. And this is the first sort of milestone in the mission. Looking for these guys. This helmet on, and that's pretty much the theme throughout the whole mission. As soon as you press his body, or your Moby Glass downloads the data.
See dates, credits, transfer codes.
And then you get the decryption key off his body.
We're gonna need more. According to this, there should be additional encrypted data packets around your site.
Once we've found all 5, we're going to come here to decode them, but I'm going to do that at the end.
All of the data, along with a decryption key. Guess they made them one-time use for security, but I imagine another high-ranking member of the organization should be carrying one. You are authorized to use lethal force to secure the
Mr.
data
Tobin.
and the decryption key. So, roll out and search the rest of this facility, along with the ship and the neighboring base.
So, the final section of this mission, once you've completed it, is the warehouse, which is down here, and that needs an access key, the first one of which spawns here. Unfortunately, I think this is a bug, they're not respawning, so you only find them when a server has had to restart or after a maintenance window, which means that once a server's been up for a certain period of time, they're normally all looted and gone. I got lucky and I found a whole bunch the first few runs I did a few days ago, so I've still got a couple stored on this station. But once you pick one up, you need to code it 3 times. Once here, once on the Polaris, and once on the auxiliary station. To get the next 2 data packets, we are looking to clear cargo deck B, cargo deck A. Doesn't matter which order. I'm just going to go to B first because it's the one I was closest to. So apart from that first death, we're looking good. We've got full health, plenty of ammo. And we're going well so far. Be ready. You can use the elevator doors as cover if there's loads of guys straight away, of course. Give you a limited window to shoot and then it'll close on their own. These guys are just... I don't know what they've been feeding these guys, but they are so good. They're so accurate. I think I saw something that CRG's actually created a bug where the AIs have got 100% accuracy. There's my guy. Looks lucky. So they're not always right on top of you here, guys. You can sometimes get out and get some cover over here before you start the fight, but in that case I was forced into it. Pretty sure he just threw a grenade. Maybe he didn't get it off. There can be some in that back room there. And then the main cargo area is off to the right here, so they can be sort of scattered around here. Just be careful as you move out. There's one, look. So, as you move out... Oh, there's another one. The guys with no helmets, if you do catch a headshot with a pulverizer, they will go down in one. I'm pretty sure it's either A or B, one of the cargo decks, one of those warehouse cards spawns there. Just need some crews. Now, I can actually just take this guy's data and go.
I've got you covered.
Which, given the fact that they do that to you, is probably what I'm actually going to do. I'm just going to quickly say there's a big turret on the mounted turret over there that you need to be mega careful of. There's guys over here. When you go up to that section, do I clear it? Because I might find a pristine artifact.
Okay, grabbing the data now. Oh, not getting
Oh well, they were
much.
doing a guide, aren't we? I'll go and clear it. When you get to the back of the warehouse over there, a group spawn from this spawn locker. So you need to be careful because they'll catch you out if you don't know they're coming. So I took some damage there, I'm just going to heal up. It's one of the dirty, heavy guys. Sometimes things just work out nicely and the cover allows you to just take your time and take them out. So that's the mounted turret, thankfully no one's on it. If that thing gets a shot off on you, you're going to have a bad day. It knocks you down, and if you're down and there's another enemy around, then you'll get rinsed. There you go, so there's an artifact fragment. This one's damaged, so not worth anything, but if they they drop in the boxes pristine, then they're worth a lot of money, so make sure to take those. Why CIG? Why boxes of fruit? Who wants to take fruit from this sort of place? Give us some proper loot crates. So I think I've cleared, but I'm just going to be cautious. And then as soon as you get sort of at the back here, you're going to trigger a spawn event back at that spawn closet over there. First armor crate in here. Second armor crate down there. There's a brown armor crate there. I'm going to check that box, but I'm just going to take care of these guys first. I'm out in the open there, that's not good play. And I'm out of ammo. So, don't do what I just did. Keep yourself in cover. Knowing that the guys were coming, I was stupid. But thankfully, because I sort of shot at them, I think they've all kind of gone to cover mode, so they haven't pushed me. If they'd kept pushing there, I would have been in some serious trouble. 1, 2, that was the guy. 3, 4. There's about 5 or 6 come out, and they'll sort of push out and spread out, so be careful, because they'll... God, I thought that was a guy then. They'll catch you out. Oh, they're gone. I feel like I had an audio cue off to my right as that guy was shooting, so I'm fairly sure there's another one, but I don't know where he went. Maybe it was just the bullet landing. Okay, so that's that clear. In here, there's normally a nice size 3 component up there. I think that's a Centurion, so it's only military C, not super exciting. Just gonna, as we've cleared, just gonna check that box. Fruit. Why? Why CIG? So you can obviously loot the heavy armor from the guys. These armor sets are all really cool. You can get pulverizers. One of the main bits of loot that I'm looking for is, oh sorry, and that's the third armor crate in here. It's these Vanduul pods, because like I said, the mission to hand those in is super easy and it's a nice money maker. Some of them are just props, some of them are lootable. So just drop each one. Quick tractor beam, and then you should be able to work out which ones are which. I think that's everything here, so I'm just going to move on. I try not to make this video super long. So, 2 data packets so far. Cargo deck B cleared. Moving on to cargo deck A. One of the bugs I've seen is that sometimes the skull guard doesn't spawn in the cargo deck. Don't know what causes it, and I'm not sure there's even a workaround at this stage. I had that in my last run, and just had to abandon the mission. When you abandon it refreshes, so if you do have to abandon it, at least you get to go straight back and start at the beginning again. When you complete the mission, it does take ages to respawn, it seems, so when you complete this mission you will have to go do something else for a while. But I have found that flying around in Nick's system in your ship sometimes causes it to repopulate. Try server hopping as well, potentially, as a solution to that. I think it's got at least an hour's cooldown time on repopulating, so you can't just chain it over and over again. But obviously with it being a good 60-90 minute mission minimum, it's intended for groups, that's probably fair enough, I guess. It's super lucrative as well, so which I'll show you towards the end. So kind of understand why you can't just keep taking it. Oof, that was bad. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, just try and get back into cover as quick as possible and stay alive. First priority. He's going to have pulled around here somewhere. That guy with a helmet go, did I knock him? Maybe? So in cargo deck A, I like to just come around to the left here, clear through. There's usually some guys on the far side, so just keep your eyes peeled. Okay, there's a medal, again damaged, but there's a chance that it's pristine. Very low RNG numbers, but you can find them. I think they're worth sort of 5-6 million each at the moment, those medals. Sometimes there's a guy nestled over here, so watch out for that. I've seen them over in the cargo deck area as well. Now, the layout in A is different to B, so there's this big gantry overhead. Still, to date, I've never seen an NPC up there. That doesn't mean they won't go up there. I don't know if anyone else can tell me in the comments if they've actually seen them up there. So that's the mounted turret. You get a nice little peek on it from here. These guys tend to be up on the balcony, up behind these covers. So you've got to be super careful of shots from above. You can sort of carefully just check the peaks to see if you can't get an angle on them from below. The cover just give you trouble there. Just make small adjustments. Just try and sort of find the angle that works. These guys are ridiculously powerful. There's normally a few guys scattered to the sort of far side of their thing, hidden behind some of these crates. Sometimes they like to take a peek behind there.
I'll keep them occupied.
I re-peeked one too many times there and got away with it. Just be careful. I've never seen him do that before. See him jumping up there? They're pretty smart with their movement these days. Fair play to CIG for the AI improvements they've made. These guys are...
This ain't gonna end well for you.
There's normally 3 or 4 guys up there. Another turret. Oh, see this? This is a bug. This guy's hidden behind there. That happens sometimes. He can still fire the turret, so be super careful of that. Always check that little bit there, because you still get him, but you can't see him. And it'd be easy to get caught out by that. I don't think I've cleared very many from the top platform here, which is worrying. Oh, there's one. See him? But you can shoot them from below, so that's a very nice way of clearing that a bit easier. You can... Oh, fuck. Excuse my language. I mean, this mission's so entertaining for me, it's so difficult. I love it. Another armor box there. Right, there's guy there. And that was our man as well, that's good. So you can usually, they can be a bit hard to pick out, but you can usually get them from underneath. Which is super useful, because it makes nice and easy work of it. There's a little brown armor box up there. I think the only real loot in this section is there. It sounds like they might have spawned. They did. So I don't know to what extent you guys are going to be able to hear the audio cues because I've got my headset on. But the sound in this game is super important in these situations. Like, their voices were what tipped me off that there was a group there. I think that's everybody down there. There's a orange armor box there. There's a warehouse card spawn somewhere up here. It's either on that box or this table. It's somewhere around here. Another orange armor box. Kill shot, nice. I've looted so many of those running this mission I don't need any more. Cool armor. So,
that's one more data packet. Shouldn't be too many more left for you to find.
Used a good bit of ammo in there. Just try and keep that belt full. So 840 rounds is so much, it shouldn't really have an issue. I'm very surprised to see that guy jump up there. Again, looting the free to pick up crates. Basically the ones with the Vanduul in them are the ones that you can take, so if they're not lootable they're empty. Final armor loot crate is there. I'm not looting those on this run, guy, because I've just looted so many I just can't possibly fit any more in my inventory. So by my calcs these things are worth about 120k each, so still worth grabbing. I haven't seen any comps in here. I think there can be some spawned, but I haven't seen very many in A. Keep your head on a swivel as you're leaving, because there can still be a straggler or two that have just tucked themselves away. If you end up close to one of the shotgun guys, that's going to be a visit to the airset. So that's 3 out of 5 data packets. Up next is the Polaris. There are potentially respawns in the central atrium here, so be careful of that. Look for those audio cues and just keep an eye on the angles as you're moving through. Again, I don't know if you can hear that, but there is one here. They tend to respawn up there, I think, which I think isn't too much of a problem. I'm not going to go to the med station upstairs because there's one immediately on the Polaris, so I'm going to do that there. So we don't have to go out and worry about those Vanduul. We can just claim our Dragonfly or Nox or Pulse would work, I think, as well. And then we can finger work this time. Where's my Nox not Why is my dragonfly not moving forwards?
Hydrogen fuel is now empty. Engines offline. Landing
Hydrogen fuel
complete.
empty. So weird. I don't know what that's about, guys. Maybe I just stored it and it's actually just genuinely out of fuel. That's really weird. Okay.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle
Star Citizen, I guess.
system. Your vehicle
We'll get an
has
Ox instead.
visited.
I think basically any space bike is good, so it doesn't really matter. As long as it's capable of free flight in space, we're good. It doesn't really matter which one. One of the problems that I've had from the comments is the hangar despawning, disappearing. Don't know if that's a timer. Don't know if leaving a ship on the pad helps. So I'm going to experiment with that a little bit and just try something in this video to see if that fixes the issue. So 5 Wicklow favours will get you one of these bad boys from Wicklow.
Systems on. Engines on. Launch complete.
So we're going to fly out and you should find, hopefully, that the Vanduul just completely ignore you. At the end of the video I will show you a little tip about how to farm Vanduul plating and metal using these Vanduul AI that are out here, and you can use your space bike to do that really easily without having to go into combat. That's the Polaris that we're headed to next. Sometimes what you'll find is that there are ships. This becomes a bit of a ship graveyard because players are obviously coming here quite regularly. Oh, there's a Asgard there. I wonder what comps he's got on board. I'll have to take a look at that later. And you can see people have done what I've suggested, right? They've used the pad instead of the hangar. So you can park your medical ship down there. The only thing with this is that the Vanduul could destroy it. I think once you're out of the ship, it's okay. But yeah, more testing needed to be sure about any of that. So I'm just going to quickly... Sorry for this extra time on the video, guys, but I'm just going to go and call the ship up to my hangar to see if that makes sure that my persistence remains and that Ursa doesn't despawn as my spawn point. Another cool thing that I've had happen is someone's left a Polaris here from a previous run, and if the vessel's still there you can get on board and they've got crap tons of medgel in, and you can go in there and set your respawn, and then that Polaris is not going to get damaged and destroyed by the Vanduul, not very likely anyway. So I think I'm just going to call my Drake Cutlass Red up,
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
which is another really good
Your
medical
vehicle
ship
has
option.
been delivered to the following. Please visit.
Now having that on the pad, I'm hoping is going to mean that this hangar stays in persistence and doesn't disappear. Because we've picked our space bike up, exited the hangar, that could trigger a timer that despawns it, maybe. I'm not 100% sure how it works. I'm not a CIG employee, but that's my working theory. So just having that sat on the pad, if I respawn again, my medgel will be out in my Ursa. That's got fresh respawns in it, so I can set my regen there and have new respawns really quickly, and B, hopefully it's just going to keep my hangar persistent so I don't lose it. Then we can just go back down to pad 3. Grab our bike and carry on. See, some other people have been doing similar here. Definitely checking that Asgard out before I leave to see what comps are on it, because I like a scavenge.
Engines on. Launch complete. Docking initiated. Docking denied.
This thing's fast, right? You've got to be a bit careful with your throttle and make sure you don't crash into stuff, because that can be a messy way to end up back in the Ursa. The Polaris is docked, and the entrance is on the opposite side to the docking spindle. Here. And this is a fairly linear... I like to switch my engine off on my bike so it doesn't drift away into space while I'm doing this. This is a fairly linear run, but it's close quarters and it's intense. There's a lot of guys in this small space, so you need to be ready for a cheeky fight now. God. How can you take so long to die? It scared me. So, the main area where normally the skull guy is in that hangar. They do come out of the hangar and push this way, so you've got to watch they don't come through this door on you and surprise you. If you listen out for the door opening sounds, that just gives you a hint if that's happening. Now, I don't know what causes this door to be half open. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it creates a nice opportunity to get cheeky peeks on the enemies in here and kneecap them and clear out a few before you have to leave like that. So I heard the door open and that gave me just enough time to turn and get my shot off before he did any damage. Oh! 3 bullets left. Reloading. One shot off and 47% health. Absolutely ridiculous, these guys.
Yeah, you owe me though.
So this hangar door creates a really nice opening to clear this out quite easily, so I've got a bit lucky here, to be honest, guys. It's not always that way. Sometimes you have to push around, and pushing through this section here can be a right nightmare. That door bugged. Can I get through it? Quite often there's guys at the back of that corridor. And then quite often there's some down here, and this little section is tricky because if they're over here they get a line on you really easily. And then there's sometimes guys down here. That's the engine room down there. You don't need to go in there. There's loads of enemies in there, but you don't need to touch it. There's loads of nice tier 1 loot here, grade size 1 loot here. You can see that it just kind of overspawns, which is interesting. So if you want good kit for your starter ship, this is a good place to come. I'm just checking to see if any of them are FR66s, because they're good, but I'm not really interested in the rest. Some guys tucked in here sometimes. And then there's a nice little blue box down here which normally has some repair tools in it. You can get to it, open it and come back without the gravity generator killing you, but be cautious because if you go too close, this gravity generator causes damage to you. See my health going down there? So don't stand in there for a long time, otherwise you'll end up respawning.
Where you hiding now?
So normally this is the way we're clearing this room, just peeking this angle here. Shouldn't repeat that because I'm damaged. That's the guy. Be diligent with that health, guys, because you don't want to get caught out. I honestly don't know which I prefer, the lovely double tap headshot kill or the kneecapping. They're both so satisfying. These guys at this corner can be a bitch, because those heavies will smash you. Try and just get an edge on him, like his shoulder, so he can't actually shoot you and you can get the DPS on him. That's my top tip for that little part there. They tend to keep spawning through or pushing through from that door at the back behind this cutter, so be aware of that. And then there's normally some guys kind of crouching. Potato! There's normally some guys crouching over there. And don't really ever drop your guard because there's always a chance of someone.
There we go.
So there's an audio key, right? So there's somebody around.
We're gonna need more.
But
According to this,
underneath this cargo hangar is
your
the
new
engineering.
objective will be to gather
So
all of
there are
the
dudes
data
down here.
along with a decryption key.
So you can get the audio cues from the guys from these, so don't let that sort of
But I
spook
imagine
you and
another
make you think
high-ranking
that,
member of the organization should be carrying one.
no,
You are authorized
I'm not going to do it on this video
to
because
use
it's
secure
very
the data
dangerous
and the
and
decryption key. So,
I want to try and keep the video to a
to
length. But there's armor crates down here. I think there's an armor crate there. This door here leads down to the bridge of the Polaris, and there's loads of guys on either side. 2 or 3 armor boxes down there. Underneath there's some good armor and loot boxes and things, but I'm not going to go down there because it's a risk of dying, and I want to just save some time on this video. There's another medal, but a worn one. Close but no cigar. The next that I'm aware of warehouse card spawns, I think, on that crate there. Where is he? Oh shit. He shot my arm so I couldn't shoot him back. Mother trucker. Guess we get to test if my my theory with the old hangar works, though. That's what happens when a shotgun guy gets close to you. Okay, so my med gels are down to 0, so this respawn is now busted. You can go to the terminal, claim a new Ursa, and bring that up. I'm going to try something. This is a bit of an experiment for me. I haven't done this before, but I'm going to actually just use my cutty red on the pad. I've got my space bike, so I don't need that. There's 2 med beds with 200 med gel in, I believe, so I think that should be 4 respawns. I'm just going to transfer my imprint here so I'm backed up. I think that means 4 respawns on board. Oh no, I dropped my gun. Because my arm was shot, I dropped my gun. This is going to be interesting. I'm either going to have to run up and punch that guy in the face and hope no one else has respawned, or find a health floor when I get to the Polaris. Has that got any fuel in it?
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online. Engines online.
Nice. That'll allow me to have to get back over there quickly and not EVA all the way back over to my bike. I like the Drake Dragonfly because it's got these ballistic guns on it, and it kills the Vanduul really nicely if you want to go farm some metal, so it's a good option. The Nox is just as good, I suppose, but the energy weapons on it aren't quite as powerful, so it takes a bit longer to kill the Vanduul. This is going to be interesting, guys, because I'm coming on board with no weapons. So, am I going to get lucky and find one on the floor? Dead rig. Dead rig. I hope my gun hasn't despawned because I like that gun. Let's see. The guy go.
On the
I think we're good.
Time to reap the whirlwind, fucker!
Well, that's sad face because I've lost my.
Oh, believe.
This is my special playback pulverizer, so I would have been annoyed if I'd lost that. It should come back when I hit the next patch, obviously, if I did lose it, but still annoying. Be your salvage tool, because of the next section of the mission, we're going to need it. And I was just trying to show you the loot in here, which is quite good. I'm going to take that fuse, because you need that in the auxiliary station, potentially. Can't remember which boxes I got to before the shotgun guy capped me. More fruit.
How the hell did they get away from us?
So, warehouse access card, program number 2. And then we're going to bug out and go get our final section of the mission going. Oh, Lord, nearly. Not bad, but no cigar again. So you can heal here. I was going to do that before I died. This is the med bed on the Polaris, so that's another chance to top off your health.
Contact. Engines on.
So when you come away from the Polaris and turn out to the left, you should see this sort of big spire sticking out from the auxiliary station. It's very similar to the asteroid mining bases in Pyro. and around the rest of the verse. But you're heading over here. When you get on your bike, sometimes the landing gear's down and it limits your speed to 30 meters per second, so you just hit N and that brings it up. We're heading into this auxiliary base here. That so far, 1 hour 11 minutes. So I think 90 minutes to finish the mission is about right, but we'll see how we get on. Don't crash. I just did a bit of a turn and burn there because I was carrying a bit too much speed, so just point back in the opposite direction and use the main rear thrusters of the vehicle to slow me down faster. Should be the case. I think when that door pops like that, you get your pointers for your access card. So that's triggered 3 derelicts to spawn around the place. 11, 20, and 12. So I'll go to A first. And we're looking for the final one of those skull Testudo death blow armor guys at these wrecks. The wrecks also contain some blue loot boxes, so you can find your pristine artifacts there, and there's some components hiding in them as well. So if you do want to fight the Vanduul at each of these, then you can fly over there with your ship and fight them, and then loot the ship components. I think it's 3 or 4 that spawn, but if you use the space bike like I'm doing, they'll just completely ignore you, and you won't get any bother from them. Again, I'm going too quick, so I'm just going to turn and burn.
Contact.
And there's the Vanduul spawning in, which made me jump. I don't know if you saw that on the video, guys, but... So, is this the Caterpillar? No. What's this ship? Yeah, it's the Caterpillar. So I've found that the guy's usually in the Caterpillar, so let's see if that's true. And I also want to just check if... when you get close enough to his body, it actually changes the marker. I don't know if that works when you're on the bike or not. This is a really neatly packed Caterpillar wreck. Normally they're scattered way further apart. So we're looking for the skull guy. They do all look fairly similar, but because I can't see him immediately on the bike, I'm just going to get off and take a look. Torch on with T. When you do get close to him, you get a new marker usually. I mean, it's Star Citizen, so you can't necessarily guarantee it, but I'm going to check the blue boxes as I'm off the bike, because they do have some nice bits in them. Fruit. Fantastic. Is it? Obviously a lot of their armour looks quite similar, so it can be difficult to spot him. Depending on how this goes, guys, I might cut this a little bit in the video, just to where I find him, because I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. And there's no real benefit in watching me search these wrecks. You use your bike to get over. Get ignored by the Vanduul, and then when you find the right guy with a card on him, it should populate a marker. So if this takes me a few tries and I have to go to all 3 locations, I'm going to cut the video here and come back to you when I've found him. That is a very interesting configuration of Dead Space bodies.
Contact.
There you go. Right. So it does work on the space bike, that's confirmed. So as soon as you get close enough to him, this marker will pop on his body. And it can be a bit tricky to find the interact button on him. Most of the other bodies here aren't interactable. There we go. This is what you're looking for, QV airlock access card. Again, there's some loot boxes and stuff, so I'll just give that a quick check, and this is an example of how the sort of floating components are available on these ones. I've got a space bike with me, so I don't have any storage capacity, so I'm going to leave them for now. I think that's a Mirage. Where did I leave my space bike? There she is. We can head over to the auxiliary station in the final stage of the mission, so we're nearly there, guys. Lost our marker for the auxiliary station, which is helpful, but it's out and to the side. Yeah, so we can follow it out like that from the main station and find it. So I'm just pressing Alt-C, raising my landing gear with N, and then pressing W to put my cruise control on, so I can cruise over there. So you can take your hands off the controls and take a breath while you're heading back, but be careful because you'll keep the speed going, and if you crash into the asteroid you will die. So Alt-C again to take off the cruise control, Alt and X for a bit of space brakes to make sure I don't cruise in too quickly. It'd be very embarrassing to have to show you guys gameplay footage of me crashing my space bike. Like that. Jesus. Right. Engine off.
Engines off.
Put your gun away, because sometimes when you're getting a key card out like this, it'll actually just drop it. It's one top tip. And then we go for the access card. Insert. Airlock. This place is cool, man. The Vanduul have boarded and attacked these guys. These are the Vanduul boarding craft. I love it. Such a cool mission. So that's the guy we need, but unfortunately he's behind a locked door, so we need to find a laptop with a key code on it. There will be potentially guys in this very first section here, so be careful coming in. Don't seem to be here right now. You can get guys coming in from this locker room sometimes. There's the first guy. Might be a guy coming out here. Shotguns to the face really don't do you very much good. There is a fuse in here, which is very useful later. I'll show you in a second. I hope my Cutlass Red is still working, because I feel like I might need it.
Piss me off.
Yep, there we go. Right, I'm going to go take a quick bio break and be back. Hey guys, so that seems to work. I don't know if that's a full confirmation, but the Cutlass Red tactics seems to have worked, leaving it on the hangar. And there's 200 med gels in there, 100 in there, so I think that's 4 respawns total on here. I am stuck now though, because that Cutlass Red is blocking my landing pad from getting a new bike. However, because there's that Drake Dragonfly at the Polaris, I can EVA over to that. Get back into the action that way. It's tempting to jump into those ships that are on the pad, but then of course the Vanduul will come, so... I could get over there in that Asgard. Doesn't look like it's in too good shape though. Oh, and that's triggered the Vanduul. So that is the problem with the ships, it's going to cause them to get aggroed and start coming to attack. But on this pad it does look like the Vanduul are really struggling to get lined up to shoot you, so I think you might actually be okay. I'm just going to EVA over to that Dragonfly, hoping it's still there, and get back over to the Aux Station that way. And this might be a cut point where I'm just going to jump to when I'm back at the Aux Station, because there's no point you guys seeing me do this. So, let's try that again, shall we? There's a spawn knocker there, so just be careful of that. Don't know where these guys have gone, so I need to be careful. I'm actually just going to run all the way back round, because that section with the open door there is full of enemies and they can snipe me from behind, so I need to get these two that killed me cleared. One's down there. Both shotty guys as well, so if I get caught out it might be messy. I'm using my audio cues here, guys, to know where he is, hopefully. Where the f... That was tricky. That could have caught me out badly, that. Don't know if this spawn locker is just on a timer or if it's like sequenced to the mission. I think when you come past it tends to go. Got loads of ammo, I don't need that. Need my repair. I'd like to have some spare things, and I need a fuse, but I'm going to leave the rest. So hopefully this first main section's clear. That spawn locker sometimes pops and brings new guys in. They do come up behind you, so be careful. As you approach this slightly open door here, there's going to be a lot of guys in here, so this is a fairly tough section. Take it slow, take your angles. There's always a guy at the box over here sometimes. Be careful because they do hide in all sorts of random places. You don't really want to jump in here until you're fairly sure it's clear. Where the hell was he? Oh, it's all the way up there, look. They're so cracked. Just give a swivel and have a check behind you here as well, because you're obviously sitting at this point clearing the room. You can get snuck up on from behind really easily. So that pipe there is why we need our repair tool. We're going to use the repair tool to stop that from burning us as we walk through. Now, the first place in this mission that you can find Vanduul metal and plating is on these guys. It's pretty cool in the first place that they're a Vanduul here, right? I mean, can't wait to fight these guys in FPS and real gameplay. And they'll be on their bodies, but unfortunately nothing on that guy. Now we're looking for a laptop. Sometimes it spawns on that table. I haven't actually seen it in this room, but it could spawn in here, I don't know. Oh god, I thought he was still alive. There's always a guy kind of tucked away in the back here, I think. So watch out for him. I'm pretty sure there's a spot in here somewhere in this bar where the laptop can spawn, but I can't see it this time. There's another Vanduul in the bar.
You're really starting to piss me off.
No joy on the metal this time. There's a couple in here. I'm going to come back and check those bodies because sometimes it kind of like doesn't load them for some reason. It's a bit weird. There we go. That's how we get our metal and plating. Vanduul metal and plating. It's very nice of them to keep coming and standing in that little nook so I can just shoot them all in the face. Okay, so this is why we've been carrying a repair tool around all through the mission. We're just going to repair that pipe and stop it from burning us. Now, you need obviously an SRT attachment on here, but also you need to press J and make sure to put a canister of RMC in as well. So you select a canister like this, put it in. You need one of these in your inventory to load it up. I've done that previously, so I've got this one ready to go. And then I just what I like to do is just keep that in my inventory so I know which one's which. My tractor is the one I use more often, and then this one is just tucked away in my inventory for when I need it. So there's a number of guys up on this black balcony that can cause you some problems. Getting an angle on them can be a bit tricky. Seems to be over spawning the bodies here for some reason. Seems a bit weird, but we'll take it. Obviously these guys have a cool knife on them as well, but I'm mainly focused on the metal. Now there's normally a guy kind of over by that door, and then there's guys by these crates usually. But I think because they've all been very considerate and just come and stood at that balcony, I've got most of them covered. Nope, there was one there. You've just got to keep your head on a swivel in this mission, guys, because you never know where they're going to come from. Now normally when you get up here they start to sort of push these stairs because they hear you and get aggroed. Oh dear, that was a bad reload. Don't be afraid to run away and get some cover. pushes into this room right now, I'm going to be in bad spot. That was close. Got a bit lucky there. That does give me a nice opportunity to show you where one of the armour boxes is over here. I think it's the arms over here, and I'm actually looking for the combustion red arms, so I'm going to check these. The laptop can spawn on this box. I think it can spawn somewhere in this sort of kitchen area. There's normally a number of guys down here. There's one. And then they can also spawn in this sort of security type office at the back here, behind this counter. And in the back corner you can sometimes get a bit of an angle on them. And then unfortunately you just have to kind of push and try and kill them really quickly. If you do get tagged, get healed quickly, because entering this room triggers a respawn cycle. There's a laptop. And they will come eventually, sometimes quick, sometimes a bit slower. They will come piling down these stairs towards you, but you're in really good cover, right? So there we go. Once you tag one of them up, it normally stops them being too aggressive and pushing. They normally take cover, so that gives you a bit of a chance to take a break. So I'm gonna hope they don't push.
Vanduul, look alive. I want a net on this. Yeah, you owe me though.
That's the door code 8999 in this case. There's another Vanduul body. No joy this time.
Moving.
Oh, there's another one there. But he hadn't taken his wakey pills and he had no idea what I was doing, so I got away with that one. So I'm just going to double check these bodies, because when the loot box looks like this, it's sometimes just slow to load, and there's actually a bit of metal in there, so it's worth a double check. But we're getting there. So our code was 8999. Be careful for respawns in this section.
Access granted.
1 hour 42 so far. So we are getting a boom tube and a pulverizer in this weapons rack. We've got another loot box here for the armour. This, oh, MG script, take it. This box has got a good chance of pristine medals and artifacts.
Good.
And then
That's the final piece of data we needed.
this is the final piece of data we needed.
Terminal and get them uploaded to the intersect servers.
Oh, and the final warehouse blade is kind of here, if I remember rightly. And again, still not spawning, so that's a bug. So, one thing I wanted to say is just that the Testudo turf war armour that is in these various sections is okay. I mean, it's kind of cool looking, but it's not for me. However, if you find one pristine artifact, 5 metal, 5 plating, you can take it to Wicklow with a full set of the turf war armour, and you can trade it for the Testudo Clanguard armour, which is cool. It's combined with Vanduul metal and it just looks ace. So that's worth looking out for, and I would recommend trying to sort of complete a set and tag as much of that metal and plating as you possibly can. So we're going to head back to the station and complete the mission. I've got a video on this, I've got a short and I've got it in my other video. You can use your bike to just fly over to the Stingers, shoot the back door open, kill the pilot and joyride in the Stinger if you want to, but you can also loot the pilot's body for Vanduul metal and plating. And with the smaller Vanduul ships like the Glaives and so on, you can just go up to them with your space bike and shoot them and kill them that way. Every time you kill one of these NPC ships, it should spawn a pilot body and it should have a metal on it. So if, like they have here, they've overspawned, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you want to farm that Vanduul metal and plating to either make the armour or do the collection mission, you can just come back on your bike and just work your way methodically through the floating Vanduul and get some nice armour. And I'm going a bit fast. Ooh. You've got to always be careful about flying in stuff because it can get very tasty very quickly.
Engines off.
So we've got our 5 pieces of data. They're all stored in our Moby-Glass and we only need one of these decryption keys technically to complete the mission. I'm just going to take a quick detour to my hangar to show you guys something else before I complete the mission and go to the warehouse. So as you've seen through the mission, the server blades for their access to the warehouse just aren't spawning. When they do spawn, however, there's at least 2, 3, 4 per run. So when I have been lucky enough to find them, I think after a server restart, or certainly if CIG do a maintenance window, it's worth sort of trying to jump on and get a run in, because there's going to be blades after that, almost for sure I would say, because when the server restarts there should be fresh spawns. But as people go to the location, they're going to take those one only spawn that happens after a server refresh, and then it's not going to come back. So that's why you're not finding them. So I'm just going to check. Okay, so that's my incomplete one. I'd need to get that one programmed at the auxiliary station, but I won't bore you guys with that for now. That should be my complete one. So this is one that I found earlier. I carried it around through the mission with me, put it into all those blade racks as I go, and it's code completed, so that's good to go for the warehouse. So that means I can get access to the end loot. I'm heading back up to the entrance one last time to do the completion of the mission. The thing with leaving my cutlass red there in the hangar seems to have worked. Again, I don't want to say 100% that's confirmed because it could still disappear on you. I don't know what's causing that exactly. When we get back to the entrance here to finish the mission, there is a very good chance there's been some respawns, so keep your head on a swivel, check the angles, listen for audio clues. There's one, so there's definitely somebody over there. Try to just keep a close eye on where they might be. If you don't aggro them, they shouldn't come and bother you, hopefully. And then we just want to put our weapon away in case it drops. Get our QV access card, interact with the terminal with F, insert the decryption key, start decryption. And obviously if we had found a server blade and we were programming them, we'd do something similar. We'd pull it out of our inventory, insert into these. Each one gives 33%, and again, you've seen them through the video, one in the Polaris and one in the auxiliary station. I'm going to send my MG script to my home hangar by declining them here. and then we're ready to go loot the hangar. Sorry, the warehouse. Now, I've debated about whether to show this to you guys or not, because I really don't like the idea of putting exploits into the internet and letting people go nuts with it, but only because I hope they fix this, and because I hope they fix the card spawning. I'm going to show you this, which I got from Clanguard Gaming. If you lie down and approach this terminal holding F, just sort of wiggle your mouse around, you can call the elevator. So this is an exploit, no doubt about it, it's an exploit. But given the fact that the cards aren't spawning, and I've done the entire mission and got the card, it's grey. It's grey at best. You shouldn't do stuff like this because it does ruin the game experience. You should play it properly, get the cards, follow the path properly. But it exists as a thing, and I wanted to let you guys know about it. I trust that you'll take that piece of information and use it sparingly. I highly recommend that you do the mission properly. Don't use exploits, because it just spoils it for everybody. It makes the game experience much worse for you, and exploits just sort of tend to start ruining the gameplay experience for everybody else that does want to do it properly. So don't do it unless you run into the bug, I would suggest. So we're in the warehouse. This place has got some really nice size 3, size 1 components. It's safe, there's no enemies in here. You can still get some audio cues, which you can hopefully hear in the background a little bit there. I think they're from another part of the station. The first place that I found some components was there, size 3 shield. There's usually one there. There's components on this racking. There's components over here. That's nice, that's an FR66. There's loads of pods. There's a couple of boom tubes. There's armor crates galore. And here seems to be where the pristine artifact is spawning more regularly. Where the pristine artifact is spawning more regularly. So there's another artifact fragment, unfortunately this time another damaged one. It seems to me like these large blue boxes are your best shot at getting them. There's basically a full set of Testudo armour in here. I haven't found an FR86 yet, but I do think they spawn in here. Loads of blue boxes, armour. Some more over here. Nice brown armour crates with sort of rare armour pieces in them. This tends to be the best component, and there we go, JS500, so that's estimate is about 5 million on UEX. It's the military grade A size 3 power plant. I think I've found at least 3 or 4 of these so far from a few runs. So this is a really good place to come for components, simply put. And lots of pods as well, so loot the pods and use them for their collection mission to make some good money. If you find a pristine artifact in one of these blue boxes and a full set of the Testudo armour and 5 Vanduul each, find 5 Vanduul metal plating. I'm going to take the Janelite. 5 Vanduul metal plating, 5 Vanduul metal, 5 Vanduul plating, sorry, 1 pristine artifact and a full set of Testudo armour, and you can go make the Wicklow Testudo Clanguard armour, which I've been selling on Alpha EUX for 250 million per set, which is just a ludicrous amount of money. The economy's so broken right now, there's that much money floating around, but hey ho, I'm going to use it while I can. As you can see, I've got nearly 500 million because I've sold 2 sets so far. I'm getting quite a lot of interest for it at the moment, people asking for more. So, you know, that might not last for very long. Once people have sort of satisfied their initial interest for that armour set, it's probably going to drop off in terms of interest. And I think that's kind of it, guys. I've got some cargo moving to do to put the loot into the cargo elevator. In my other video that I've already published, I've showed you how to, once you've got all the loot, load it up onto your ship, bring it up in the hangar, program in your jump point, whether it's Levski, Stanton Gateway, Pyro Gateway, before you leave the hangar. As you're sort of exiting the hangar, jump to quantum drive mode, align with the target and jump away. So if those Vanduul that are out there are still there, you should be able to jump away before they have a chance to do anything to you, and get yourself away back to station to get this loot stored and saved. And I think that's about it. I do just want to give a quick shout out to a few of the guys that have commented on my my video. So K3X47, I've just showed you that workaround for the warehouse that we talked about. I think I've covered the hangar keys not working. The Great Gazoo for the mode switch on the shields, big shout out to that because I didn't know that. That's a new one for me. And then the 4-stock strategy, this is my breakdown video where I'm trying to go through everything. I hope I've covered everything. I hope I've gone through it in enough detail. I'm going to do some editing to this to shorten the video overall length, but not a lot. I'm going to keep most of it in there, guys. And I may also make a really short, just the tips, hopefully 5-10 minute guide that just literally gives you all the bits that you need to know. So again, like I said at the beginning, it's just so massively appreciated for me that I had so many people come and look at my last video on this mission. It's super good fun. The NPCs are hard, it's challenging, and the rewards are fantastic, right? So what more could you want from a game mission, in my opinion? I'm sure I'll get bored of running it eventually, but last I checked I had about 70 of these cargo pods, these cryo pods to sell. Which is going to be a nice little chunk of change when I get those sold, and I need to do that before the patch drops, which looks like it's going to be imminent. So yeah, this is my first video where I'm putting video onto the video, so it's the first time you're seeing my face, so hello to all of you. This YouTube thing's kind of just a hobby. It's something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy playing Star Citizen, and I've started learning to edit and make these videos, so it's just, you know, it is what it is. It'll be fun while it lasts, and I'm just mega appreciative of all the time people have spent watching this so far, the comments, the feedback, the questions to let me know what people are interested in. So just keep it coming, guys, really is all I want to say. And I hope this has been useful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Radical Panda, out. Okay guys, so hello again. I just literally needed to put this in because
Wonder how long you can keep quiet.
I didn't check this box before I stopped recording there, and then I did it as I was looting the warehouse, and look at that. A Terravan, pristine,
The hunt's my favorite.
and a large artifact, pristine. Absolutely awesome. I think this box, if I remember rightly, seems to be the magic box. I think it's always in there. I think maybe what we should do as a community is actually just empty this box, because making it respawn as fast as possible and giving it the best chance of giving people these things is probably the way forward.
We were having some.
Anyway, nice little final piece there to end the video with, and yeah, thank you all for watching. See you later. Again, Radical Panda, out.